All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to SpeedGaming 3, where tonight we have the semifinals of our fall tournament, the Cadillac Cup. This is a double elimination tournament, so this is the upper bracket. The two who have made it up here, the winner of this match will go on to be in the grand finals, and the loser of this match will go on to face the winner of the losers bracket finals that we'll hopefully be seeing pretty soon. The winner of that match will then go on to be done. So yeah, it should be a good match. We've got two good players here tonight, and it looks like we're all ready to go. In the booth here tonight, I have a name Pyro. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, it's just Pyro to everyone watching, just for ease, but
Indeed.
so for this tournament, in the end game now, if you pay attention, Omen and Xelpher have put on some really good shows for us thus far, and really hoping for Divergent Goat mode today, but that's sort of always the hope.
It's always fun to see, but we'll see. I have no idea. I'm going to go ahead and get the racers going, and then we can start seeing what they get. Okay.
Olen's getting a little impatient over there.
Yep. All right. Well, yep, they are set off and ready to go. We'll see how long it takes for our stream to pick it up as well. But, yep. So, yeah, these racers are ready to go. And let's see, how many races have they won? I guess Xelpher has won 2 matches and N has done 3. We had a 1 bye for our top 4 seeds going into this tournament. So, yeah. I guess we can talk a little bit about what we're watching here for anyone who's not familiar. This is Chrono Trigger Jets of Time, which is a Chrono Trigger randomizer. It is an open world style randomizer where you're trying to find the correct key items to unlock other time periods or other dungeons, and ultimately unlock Go mode, which you can get one of 3 ways. One of those is the Black Omen Go mode, which requires the pendant to get to the future, the clone, and the Chrono Trigger in order to go through Death Peak, and then the Black Omen. And we're getting started, so I will pause for just a second for us to see. We're starting with Frog and Chrono. What do you think of that, Pyro?
The dual swordsman combo is pretty powerful. You got plenty of physical attack and access to AoE screen clears once you get like Lightning 2 or Water 2. So this is a powerful starting team. Plus the group heal on Frog is always clutch.
Yeah, that's true. Certainly, I suspect our runners will be looking out for some of those techs you've mentioned. Heal on Frog is one that everyone always loves, since it gets several people. And yeah, Lightning 2 on Chrono or Luminaire is good, but possibly early game not even ideal because it takes a little bit more MP to get through stuff. So as our runners start doing their early checks here, we'll see them go around, shop, look for stuff. Talk a little bit about flags right now. Any of you who have played this before might notice that they have less money than usual. Normally in Jet of Time, you start with 20,000 gold. But in this, we have the hard items flag set, which means chests are not quite as good, basically. But also you start with 10,000 gold. Other flags we have on for this tournament, it's standard race flags plus boss randomization, flag called Boss Spot HP that makes the HP a little bit easier to predict. We've got gear randomization, which shuffles some of the effects on weapons, armor, and a few of the accessories, as well as healing item randomization, which changes the values for the different items that heal both HP and MP.
Ooh, real quick, did anyone see Xelpher get that quick chest without triggering the boss fight in a second desert? That was pretty nice.
Yeah, no, I'm always impressed by the people who can get that chest without hitting the boss. A lot of people will avoid it and just get it whenever they actually go in to fight the boss, but I didn't see what was in that chest, did you?
I believe it was just an ether, so it's not even really worth the struggle, but with hard items, you kind of take what you can get.
Yeah, and with healing item randomization, it's also true that ethers can be worth less or more MP than usual. I don't know if we have seen that yet for this seed, but ethers can roll between 7 and 13 MP healed rather than the basic 10 that they do normally. And similar things for all the other stuff. Looks like we have a Prism Shard at Snail Stop. Xelpher has elected not to buy it just yet.
Yeah, we won't spend all their money on an item you don't even have the character for.
Yes, exactly. The Prism Shard enables runners to do the King's Trial quest, but you also have to have Marl picked up in order to be able to do that, and right now we are without that. I don't think I've seen either of our runners go to the other free check yet, which is the Lazy Carpenter. Probably see that fairly soon. Some runners will go to Cathedral before they do that, some won't. Not sure if I know the habits of these particular runners, but
yeah, I've seen a lot of people put off Cathedral for a while they do these little checks. I mean, it's a quick third character, but if you're gonna, depending on what you get, you might decide to dive on it. I can understand when getting like grocery shopping done before then.
Yep, got a lot of pixelization here on Xelpher's screen. See if we can figure out what he gets here. Here's N dropping into Desert, like we saw Xelpher do earlier. Apparently Xelpher has actually been going...
Might be worth just selling, because that was a Sage Bow plus. That might help you buy something later.
Yeah, it's true. Especially right now we don't have Varnal, so we do not have the character who will need that. Xelpher is clearing this first fight in Hecarim. I don't know exactly what the reasoning there would be, if that's just for some levels, or tech points.
You just get 4 levels on Chrono from that. Isn't that pretty typical? You get to level 5 in the first fight kind of anywhere?
Yeah, something like that. We usually don't see that first Hecarim fight as one that people do, but a few people will, apparently. One trick, I don't remember, I think that one doesn't have that many TP. One trick that people usually try to do, I'm just going to look up real quick what that fight gives, but one trick people usually try to do is use actually a vanilla bug called tech doubling. Yeah, that one only provides 2 TP, so often early on, you don't need very many TP to get a tech, so you can take advantage of the tech doubling bug, which is that when you get a tech, you immediately get the same number of tech points you just got again, which sometimes can even chain multiple times and give you, 3 or 4 techs if you're really lucky and getting a lot of tech points at once.
Yeah, if you could tech double a boulder fight, that'd be great, but there's no early boulders. As we get a
Not
clone
here,
from the
yep.
Carpenter's Knife.
A clone, all right. So that is one of the 3 pieces of the Go mode that I did mention already. I should get back to that. The other 2 Go modes are Tyrannolair Go mode, which requires the gate key to get to prehistory, plus the Ruby Knife and the Dreamstone in order to go through that and go through to the Ocean Palace and fight Lavos. Or the third way is Magus Castle Go mode, which requires having Frog and both pieces of the Masamune, which lets you go through Magus's castle and then again into Ocean Palace and defeat Lavos. So we've got N picking up the same clone and Xelpher running into Demodoro. This is one of the fights people will sometimes use early on to get some levels and tech points. Maybe he was doing that first Hecarim fight just to get a few levels so that this fight would be a little bit easier. This isn't always the most recommended fight, depending on who you ask, just because it's more enemies and it can take a little bit longer, especially early on, just because of the particular enemies and waiting it out. So
Yeah, if you're not careful, those goblins can kind of hit you like a truck at level 1, but at level 5, not too bad. Oh, we have Spin Cut. Sorry.
Yeah, so we've got Heal on Frog, which I'm sure Xelpher is happy to see there.
Yeah, the other one
also
got.
Yeah, Slurp Cut is the other one we got there, and I guess Chrono got Spin Cut and Life. Life's always nice.
Chrono.
Yeah, it's certainly not amazing. No screen clears for either of these, so Xelpher is going to be going through this a little bit more slowly than he'd probably like. And we've got N jumping into the Cathedral as well. I didn't see if he did any early fights to gain some levels. Did you?
feel like he stopped somewhere to fight, but I can't recall. We're all distracted by the Heckman dive early.
Yes. It looks like he did, yeah, Aku saying in chat that he did Guardian Forest, which I didn't catch, but that's a common fight to do one, or usually two different fights in there. It's got a good numbers for getting the levels that you need, as well as the tech points you need in order to get your first two techs pretty quickly.
Don't forget a free shelter.
And free shelter, especially in hard items. That's very nice. That raises the prices of some things, and it becomes more valuable to have things like that. We have Marl showing up here in the back of, or in the front of Cathedral. So that opens up that Prism Shard as a possible direction for our runners.
Xelpher is deciding to open up back at the Cathedral.
Yeah, he could just be going as far as... Yeah, I could just be going for the bromide. Sorry, didn't mean to speak over you there, but yeah, some runners will just go for the bromide here, one of each tab. We'll see if anyone goes the whole way to the back to see who that fourth character is. Could be Robo, who could be required, or could just be someone that you want in your party because they're powerful.
Yeah, or just right now, just wanting a little more variety. Although I personally like this team, just from a casual playthrough, because it just, they seem fun to get.
Sure. I think that, I don't know, this is a particularly popular party in Jets, just because of the particular synergies between the characters, but it will be interesting to see what people go with. Some runners will try to sort of start with whoever they get and go with it, so that they don't have to pick up any extra characters, spend the time on doing that. The double and triple techs with this group aren't quite what people are often looking for, so... No.
Yeah, if we get two a Crisis Beam and a Crisis Bow, though, those are two endgame weapons for a swordsman, you might see some Crisis Strikes that a serious dent in the endgame bosses.
Yes, it's true. And Jets has increased the power for X Strike, so it uses some slightly stronger techs. Looks like Xelpher is going into the back here as well, judging by where he's going.
You get to take a quick, easy boss fight, easy tech points, and a fourth character.
Yep, it's true. It can take some time, especially with boss randomization. You can have some harder things here, but it's never that strong. This is still Yakra's spot, and the bosses are scaled down. And yeah, some people are pointing out in chat that Ice Sword 2 is quite good, and that's one of the combinations that you'd have with this party once Chrono has Confuse and Marl has Ice 2, and Ice Sword 2 can go through a lot of stuff, and heal's quite valuable. So it could be that we don't see anyone really feeling like they need to pick up anyone else, but we'll see. It also looks like
preferred parties here in earlier fights. I don't know if who they would see back here they would drop for. And obviously Luca goes without saying.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would pick up Luca here. Possibly Ayla as well is one who a lot of people would like. Some folks will like getting Magus. I think that Magus sort of depends on how exactly you like playing. But he does have an amulet, which is nice. It's 50,000 gold, which is more dear here in hard items. Robo is also popular with some people, so I think that no matter who's here, someone might choose to bring them in, since both of our runners do appear to be going to the back here. This is early enough that they haven't really committed resources to any of these characters particularly, so there's not much loss to switching someone out this early. Question in chat from One Free Fits, which is, are we looking for Robo or Luca at the back of the Cathedral? What do you think, Pyro?
Ooh, I think probably Luca. Drop the frog and have a vanilla party. Or like the first part of the game, it's like that's the party you run with is Chrono, Marl, and Luca.
Yeah, it's true. I think that gosh, I know that many runners would be pleased to see Robo back here, just because that would mean you don't have to do any other character checks, for sure. If Robo is required in order to do the desert check, you're done. Looks like we have Golem back here. So this spot will have 920 HP. Usually the strategy here is to finish with ice or water. We don't have... sorry, ice, water, or fire. We don't have that here, but it may be that they'll just try to do as much damage as they can quickly just because the HP here is so low.
It seems like if you just do 3 rounds of Ice Sword 2 and have Frog on heal duty, you'll get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was 260 damage or something. That's something there just did. These are 300, that's 3 of them. Yep, and he's already down.
Yep, there it is. The burp.
Yep.
And they all live happily ever after.
Yep, pretty quick fight there. Life 2 on Marl. Probably nice to see.
It is an MP hog, but it is a full life, which is always nice to get fights.
Yeah, it's especially, I've certainly seen runs where in the final battles, the difference between life and life 2 does really make a difference, because life is going to give you only partial HP and life 2 gives you full. If you're getting hit with something really bad in the final boss, that might make a pretty significant difference. We've got some good revives with this party, given that we've already got life and life 2, though.
Yeah, you're not going to have to go grocery shopping as long as you have at least one of them up.
Yes, though I suspect that these runners will still try to get some revives and things together just in case. But looks like we have Luca back here.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, so Luca is very popular. She's got some really high power single techs like Flare. She's also got some really good utility in terms of double techs with 2 gives you Fire Sword 2, it gives you Blaze Kick, which are always popular things. We'll see if either of these runners decide to pull her in. My guess is probably one or both of them will, but yeah.
Who do they drop is the real question. We're going to get a menu check here.
Yeah, starting with... Flame Toss and Flare. Flame Toss isn't good, but Flare is nice, certainly, for having a screen clear early on. We were commenting that the other 2, or other 3, actually, even, I don't think Marl has Ice 2. Yeah, so that means that Flare is the screen clear that these runners have early on. Gosh, who to pull out? I mean, I feel like some of these runners might pull out Marl. She doesn't have very good techs right now. She's kind of the mage role. You want to keep Frog in maybe for healing. You want to keep Chrono in for the physical damage.
Yeah, Marl's just not good enough at anything to keep her in.
Yeah, I mean, she's certainly... Yeah, she can certainly be useful, but, to really keep a Marl around, I think you want to see Ice 2, you want to see maybe Haste, maybe Re-Raise. Ice 2 is certainly her most valuable tech, and they don't have it yet, so, yeah.
Both runners decided to drop Marl, and I totally get it.
Yep, so we're seeing N here going to check what's on Xenon Bridge, and I think Xelpher is maybe grinding a little bit in the desert. Since we don't have Robo, there's no reason for him to finish, but maybe he just wants a little bit of extra levels and I guess some techs. I didn't catch what Luke...
Flare will take out, probably.
Yeah. Now it looks like Luca has...
Dark Gun Plus on all end side. What can you even add to the Dark Gun? Is +1 something? Yeah,
so I'll explain a little bit about how gear randomization works. So the way that works, each thing... I missed what N saw there, but...
sword. So he's saying no for now, but we'll probably come back if we get the other piece.
Okay, yeah, it was the bent sword. Alright, but yeah, so let's talk about gear rando a little bit. The way that gear rando works is that, in general, in Jets, the weapons, armor, etc. are separated into different tiers. And the way that it works is that within each of those tiers, there's certain effects and buffs that are on, different stuff within that tier. Might be bonuses to speed, might be bonuses to power and stamina, might be, a critical hit effect, those sorts of things. So random numbers are chosen and they get shuffled around. If you're seeing a plus on something, what that means is that it either kept everything it already had and gained something new, or something that's like a stat buff maybe got a higher number, or it buffs 2 stats instead of just 1, that sort of thing. If you see a minus, And that means that it lost something or got something made worse, or it can have a question mark, which sort of means it had one effect and it got replaced with another, and we can't necessarily compare those directly. It's hard to compare. How much better is +1 speed versus +5 magic? They're kind of incomparable things. So you'll see those change names a lot here.
You might have the crisis effect being replaced with the wonder effect. Do you remember those types of guns from the endgame?
Yes, it's true. The final ultimate weapons for all the characters, those will have changed names as well to denote what particular effect they got. But yes, it is true that there's 4 different possible effects for the 7 different endgame weapons, and anyone can get any of them. So it'll be fun to see.
Xelpher leaving the desert as All-In is just making mincemeat of these magic enemies in Hecarim Cave.
Yep, just getting through there, getting some tech points. I'm sure these runners would love to have magic unlocked already, but Hecarim is one of those tracks you often don't want to leave. Back of it's only 2100 HP, and it's open right from the beginning, so it often hides something valuable. We've got Xelpher checking here also. Maybe keeping that thing, maybe not. Looks like the dart gun there had power +2, which is
used for Luca.
Yeah, Luca's damage is based, or her attacks are based on hit instead of power, so that's not a very useful bonus. But
do the plus and minuses affect the resale value?
They can, I believe. Okay. I don't know all of the particulars for that, but yeah, I do believe that if effects are added or removed, it will change the resale value.
Well,
so that could be valuable.
Now we can take Pawn Stars and get a little more money for it.
Yes. Melchior runs that in this world, I guess. It looks like Xelpher is going for it. Maybe Xelpher is just figuring, okay, well, I'll get some items here on the bridge. Sometimes those can be valuable. Just get it out of the way. He's already got Frog. That gives him 2/3 of the way to a go mode. Yep. And Pseudo-Arc is confirming in chat the bonus does change the resale or sale value based on the effect. Pseudo-Arc is one of our developers, or main developer probably, who wrote the gear random, so he would know.
Shout out to Pseudo-Arc. Thanks for all your work on this.
Definitely. Lapis M's and Magma Hand pluses dropping on the bridge. I'm guessing those Magma Hands will be some nice money, since we don't have Robo yet. Lapis M is
is an MP for the whole party. And that means we won't see regular lapises.
Yeah, we will not see regular lapises. We will only get these ones that restore some amount of MP to the whole party. That's part of the healing item randomization. Have you spotted by any chance how much different healing items are healing in this seed yet? I have not been watching quite closely.
We're using one on All-In side after this animation goes.
Okay, wow, that's 13, so that is a maximum roll for Ethers, which I'm sure these runners will be happy to see. I feel like most of our runners have been saying they're seeing a lot more 7s than 13s, if you know what I mean. But
it's made for some poverty runs throughout the tournament.
Indeed. So Xelpher is seeing our boss here on Xenon Bridge as N is fighting Rust Tyranno in the back of Hecarim Cave. Xelpher's running into Hecarim. So here on the bridge, I think... Yeah, so here on the bridge, the HP is just a little over 2,000. And in Hecarim Cave, it's normally just a little over 2,000. It's 2,100. Rust Tyranno always has more HP.
He gets a 1.75 health multiplier whenever he appears.
Yep, exactly. So here he has 3,675 HP. I suspect that won't pose too much difficulty for our runners here, and Xelpher's doing huge amounts of damage to Hecarim over there, so definitely getting through these quickly.
Yeah, there goes Rust Tyranno. Dropping, I think he dropped an Ether, so it's a partial refund, right?
Yeah, and so we'll get to see another key item check here from N very soon, picking up an item from Tabin.
I don't know what he was doing with it at that workshop. whenever you see what it is.
Gate
There's
key.
one on the gate key. That's actually canonical in a way.
Yeah, I suppose so. Luca makes it in vanilla. So the gate key is very valuable. It opens up access to prehistory, but also to the end of time, which allows unlocking magic. And our players here have all 4 characters that need to unlock magic, and their techs are not exactly amazing, exactly what they'd want. So I'm guessing N is going to go exactly as he is. He's going to go to prehistory and then probably go right to the end of time to unlock magic for these characters so that he can be making some progress. I think he's gotten all 3 techs for all of these folks, but if you do unlock magic without all of your first 3 techs in Jets, you will end up getting up to the first 3 techs, which can be very valuable if you run into there very early.
You gotta find a real early gate key, like carpenter check or something.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time it doesn't come up, but it's definitely still valuable. Question in chat, do you have any good screen clears on Chrono or Frog yet? No, so both of those are...
Cyclone?
Yeah, he's got Cyclone, which isn't
Power
really a
will
screen
get him
clear.
off.
Yeah, and Frog's...
It's
what
a
is, let's see,
portion of
what's
the
Frog?
screen clear.
Yeah, and Frog's got Slurp, Cut, Heal, and Slurp. So, I'm sure that Enna's hoping that they're getting, Lightning 2 or Water 2 or something coming up next.
I'm going to say a round of vanilla. We're going to get Lightning 1, Fire 1, and Water 1. That's normally what you get for Specu at this point in the game.
Yep. Alright, so there's N unlocking magic, and it looks like Xelpher is going to pet the cat, which of course is very important, this being the Cadillac Cup.
First one to pet the cat. Advantage Xelpher now.
Yes, clearly. Alright. Not sure what Xelpher's doing. Grinding in the desert some more?
He might just go for it. He has the water and the physical damage to maybe get through it.
Yeah, it feels odd. He doesn't have Robo, so he can't get the key item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he doesn't have Robo, so this has to be grinding.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can imagine here. Interesting to see where N goes next. With having opened up prehistory, it opens up a character check in Dactyl Nest. It also opens up actually 2 different key item checks. It opens up the Reptite Lair, which is directly in 65 million BC, but also it opens up Mount Woe. In Jets, we've made it so that getting to the end of time also gives you access to 12,000 BC, which means access to Mount Woe. You don't have access to the Skyways to get into Zeal until you finished either Magus's Castle or Tyrannolair, but that is now an option. Looks like Xelpher's going to head to Denadora Mountains, which is sort of the third of our trifecta.
Go here. It's like you ground the desert for a few fights and came here. It's like you could just came here. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe he just wants to blaze through here very quickly or something. This boss spot can be a little bit dicey at times. It has the highest HP of the sort of early 3. It's got 3,600 HP as opposed to the 2,000 about on the other 2, and the 920, of course, on Cathedral. So yeah, Pseudoark is saying in chat too that the Masamune spot can be nasty and you don't want to risk it. So yeah, that might be why Xelpher was grinding, was just if something's back here that's going to be a challenge with that much HP at this point in the game, this extra couple levels could make a difference.
Yeah, and we just hope not to see a Son of Sun because we don't have any fire resist.
Yeah, it would be scaled down here at least. And as a puzzle boss, its power isn't quite as important, but yeah. Yeah, let's see.
They're both in Denadora right now.
Yep, Dr. Skywalker asking, was Denadoro gate key? No, that was Hecarim, which N has done, but Xelpher was doing Xenon Bridge to get that bent sword at about the same time.
If this is the other piece of the sword, Xelpher would go into go mode without having an easy way to get magic unlocked. We'll first have to do Magus Castle.
Yeah, it's true. That is the alternate way to unlock magic, is to finish Magus's castle first. I don't know if I would want to run right into Magus's castle here with these techs being not amazing. You do have Flare, which would help, and you would have Frog with Masamune to lower that defense, but that would be, I think, a little bit rough to run in there right now. And jumped into Denadoro and then jumped right back out. Maybe is now also doing a little bit of a grind in the desert here.
Better safe than sorry. At least N has the magic unlock to take advantage of these tech points.
It's true. So we saw Xelpher get the Gold Rock Plus there. So one of the few accessories that is randomized in Gear Rando is the rocks that enable triple techs that don't include Chrono. So that Gold Rock will have, looks like it has Shield on it. That's equipable by the people who can normally do it, but it gives that extra effect because of Gear Rando, so it makes those rocks a little bit more valuable.
And Frog could use that, because it normally gives you the Master and triple check, which I don't think I've ever used.
Yeah, it's certainly not one we see much, but yeah, that is Frog, Marl, or Robo, as Chad is helpfully pointing out for us here, and it's certainly a good...
I'll open things up. Chat's gonna beat me to it.
Yep. Looks like Water 2 is 4th there for Frog, which I'm sure N is happy to see. I think I saw Slash being 4th for Chrono, which is not quite as desirable, but...
And that doesn't even help you with, if you ever do run into Masamune, because it's set to Chrono's 2nd tech.
Yeah, that's correct.
Slash.
Yep, so yeah, in Jets it's always Chrono's 2nd tech, so hopefully that's not life. Is that life in this seed? Yes, that is life in this seed, so you can't disperse the tornado energy in this seed because you can't cast life on Masa and Mune. But,
oh, cruel fate.
Yep, looks like Xelpher is running into Giga Gaia here, normally found on Mount Woe. He's scaled down pretty significantly at this spot, but could still pose a little bit of challenge.
Yikes, that is some decent damage with Xelpher's levels.
Yeah, normally with Giga Gaia here, I think you're trying to get the hands down as quickly as possible because they're the ones who do most of the damage, as we're seeing happen. We'll see if this flare is enough to do that.
Here's hoping. Oh, wow,
yep.
Big number. Only one hand, though. Left hand staying, still kicking. Still punching?
Yeah, must have just done not quite enough damage. In this spot, the head of Giga Gaia will get the full 3600, and then the HP of the hands is based on that. When distributing the HP with the boss spot HP flag, it's sort of the essential parts. Whatever parts you have to take down are what get the that division. So for this, it's just the head. Looks like Xelpher's just going for throw as much damage on it as I can.
I mean, it's a winning strategy most of the time. DPS race.
Yep. Yeah, especially with those hands down. Giga Gaia is not going to do too much damage, and Flare was doing 1,000 there, so,
It's always why you're talking about it.
Yep.
And you can see how either Master or Immune, one of their sprites as a kid comes back sooner, because we eliminate that in the fight to take advantage of how that initial fight works.
Right, yep. Let's see, what is Xelpher going to pick up here? He picked up the pendant. So, wow, we have a very wide open seed here. Not that Xelpher has found the gate key, but N has found the gate key, and N's about to get it.
I wonder if Xelpher still needs Echo in the cave, or just go straight to the future. Back to the future.
See. Yeah, he could be thinking, if I go to the future right now, I can go to the factory and get magic, but that does take a little bit of doing. Gate key is certainly nicer. If he does go to the future and then go through Hecarim, he will be able to open up that sealed chest, which is rarely game deciding, but does give you 2 sealed chest level items, which can be nice. It does look like Xelpher's doing that. He's sending Frog to jail to fight his way out.
Yeah, no Berserker, so we won't see the red frog getting out of here.
Not this time.
But yeah, actually, if one of the first checks in the future is the trigger or part of the sword, Xelpher might just not even go to prehistory.
Yeah, that's true. I think that if Xelpher got go mode at this point, he would probably go for it, or at least would not do too much more before going for it. There's N getting that same gold rock.
Although would he do factory to get magic unlocked before doing Death's Peak? Oh wait, no. Yeah.
Yeah, you would do that only through Magus's cast. I guess you'd maybe do it for Death Peak. Yeah, I think it's hard to say. You know, he does have Flare. I don't know that his single target damage is very good for taking down Zeal, so he might go for it if that was the mode he got.
He might go through the couple extra checks in the prison here, although there's not too much high tier chests. Even the ones
yeah, I mean, no, it's true. Usually the only sort of extra check we'll see people do is whether or not they go save Fritz, which it would make sense, I think, to do. In this seed, you get 10 mid-ethers if you rescue him and then have Chrono in your party later and go to his shop. Obviously, both of these vendors already have Chrono, and money is precious in a hard item seed. So I expect we'll see that from one or both of them.
Xelpher did pet the cat, so he's got Chrono, so he should free Fritz here.
Yes, get all of the extremely important friend of the chat checks here. And about to start facing Giga Gaia. I was just looking back in chat. Lord Batsy was pointing out that the main thing with Giga Gaia is that Giga Gaia is very fast, and that can be a challenge. And we were seeing that with Xelpher there. He was getting a lot of damage dealt to him very quickly before he did take out those hands. Of course, once he did, he pretty much just had Flare to wipe it out. And there's Fritz getting saved, as we said.
Xelpher getting all the karma points in his pocket early on.
Yep, going back here to get that extra chest. A Flash Blade will not do that much, but little money, right?
Exactly, and you got a gun for Luca too. Pico minus, so we're not going to see that except a little extra cash.
Yeah, and normally the Pico Magnum has an effect. That minus just means that effect has been removed. So it's just a weapon, basically.
Luca really only needs good armor and magic tabs to prove her worth.
Probably some speed tabs too, if you can get it. Starts a little low on speed, but
yes. Do a big bowl of those.
Chat saying Luca doesn't need magic tabs, she's powerful enough already. Which is somewhat fair. My understanding is that magic tabs can be especially valuable actually for the healer characters. The way that the formulas work out, I don't remember the exact details, but magic tabs can actually end up being more powerful for those characters. Or just in general for characters who have lower magic, just because they need help more. Once you get Flare to a certain point, it's wiping the screen anyway. What does it matter if it does 2,000 or 3,000 damage? So.
Yeah, and I have seen a lot of magic tabs on the robot at this tournament. So.
Yeah, and I think that is for the heal, especially. So we're seeing Dragon Tank here on Xelpher's screen. This is one of the bosses that isn't randomized, largely so that it can be a little bit more predictable for the runners. You don't want to have to have gone the whole way through the factory, or not the factory, the prison here, and end up with something you just can't do anything to at the end, especially since getting to the future is often pretty required. So this is as usual. The head will be immune to lightning and to fire, but it looks like Xelpher is using Flare to wipe everything else out as quickly as possible, and then taking out the head.
It'll be quick work here.
Yep, looks like N has finished his stint on Denadoro there, which would mean that he now also has the pendant, and we'll see if he decides to head right to the future as well.
Looks like it had 1000 AD at 88 miles an hour.
Yep. Anyhow, Sudork saying in chat, what tabs doesn't Robo get? It's kind of fair. He's slow, so you want speed tabs on him. Giving him magic makes his healing better, and he also punches things, so you want power tabs. Looks like N is also sending Frog.
You gotta, help me bridge that gap.
Yep.
This Dragon Tank fight's taking longer than I thought it would, but there it goes.
There we go. Yeah.
Trust the commentator. Is that a rainbow helm?
That was a rainbow helm. Yeah.
Both runners will have it, so no advantage, but that's a great piece of gear to pick up for safety.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty high tier helm, and it resists lightning, which comes up sometimes, but mostly it's just a pretty good helm.
Yeah, you don't know. We could see Chrono in the Magus spot. Magus boss spot.
Yes, that's true. It's one of the things that's randomized, as that you can get any of the 7 characters there. And we may see that if someone picks up the bent hilt somewhere. So we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here with Xelpher's stream, but hopefully we'll...
Don't mind the study. It will be resolved.
Yep. I know Xelpher was saying that someone was going to improve his internet recently, but we'll see. Hopefully it's got better. Yep. Xelpher got a silver stud there, which is something people often like to see. It reduces the MP cost of stuff. Gold stud is, of course, better, but silver stud reduces it a lot, so I'm sure he's happy to see that. Both runners will, of course, have that pretty soon, since it was right there when you got to Future.
Yeah, silver stud is good enough.
Yeah.
Another height back here.
Yep.
Is that a Lumen Robe minus?
Yeah. I don't remember what the Lumen Robe normally has on it.
I was trying to think. It doesn't really have much. It's a good high tier general armor for the ladies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just taking a look here. The Lumen Robe normally has magic defense plus 5 on it, so it has lost that effect in this seed. There's N freeing Fritz, and Xelpher ducking into one of the labs here in order to grab that first chest. Wall ring, whether he uses it or not, it's still potentially valuable. Same with the sewers here. We'll see runners do what Xelpher's doing here. Duck in, grab some chests. It gives you some money, it gives you some items that could be good, and then move on.
Yep, and looks like Xelpher's going to give us a glimpse on our 5th character here in Proto Dome.
Yeah, it looks like he's mostly decided on his party at this point, and he's committed a little bit of resources into it. So my guess here is that he might be looking for Robo. He's got a party that's got a decent amount of water and stuff. So if there's a vanilla Robo here, that would open up a pretty quick check in the desert. Chat asking if N freed Fritz, and yes, he did, as did Xelpher earlier. So we have 2 free Fritzes.
One free Fritz is rejoicing in chat.
Yes, exactly. And Protodome here, where Xelpher is sort of known as, colloquially as Soft Lock Dome by our community, because there were a lot of bugs here. A lot of them have been improved or fixed in the beta, but you'll probably see Xelpher run out of here without touching anything else, just to be sure he doesn't end up with a soft lock. We do have Ayla here. My guess is that we won't see Ayla brought in. She's a strong physical character, and she does have charm, but runners are getting her a little bit late, so they might not be in much.
Which is good for clearing late game scout fights.
Yes, that's true. One of the big strategies. These runners do also have Frog, of course, but no Frog Squash on him yet, which is the other sort of most classic strategy. Chat laughing a little bit at Xelpher running into Factory. Normally Xelpher does not like Factory much, but clearly he really wants that magic unlock.
Yeah, not really doing any other checks, just gonna go straight for magic, which makes sense. If you're gonna do it, just go do it so the rest of your TP isn't wasted.
Yeah, exactly. And doing this factory will also open up Mount Woe for him. I don't know if either of these runners is going to go there, but could be something they want to do, especially if you want some levels and some gear and all of that. It takes a while, but it will make you pretty powerful. So, Corinth saying in chat, if you get enough healing items, you can swap out Frog and put in Ayla. Just have pure damage team. Could be fun.
Oh yeah, that is a nice party. All depends if we get the mass immune or not in these whatever our next key item check is. But...
Yeah, a little bit of a lull in key item checks as our runners are unlocking things, but I'm sure soon somebody will decide to check something out.
Because Andy just finished his Dragon Tank fight, so he'll be heading to the future, and I suspect it'll be a similar first run of getting chests, checking the character, and then won't be doing factory, you know that much.
Yeah, I doubt that he will do factory because it will not help him at all. We see Xelpher using Flare, which is actually working out for him. Usually the standard strategy for factory is actually to have lightning because it damages both the acid and the alkaline enemies, but he got only acids here, which I'm not sure is... yeah, Pseudo-Orc saying super lucky they're getting all of those, otherwise he'd have had to take out the alkaline enemies a different way, because as I recall, those will absorb fire or react to fire or something anyway.
Yeah, I didn't know those could be randomized. I thought it was always like 3 and 2.
Yeah, I know that is one of the random fights in this game. There aren't very many, but that is one of them.
You're saying it's random in vanilla?
Yeah, it is my understanding. Yeah, there's a couple of really weird random spots that are fully random that you wouldn't expect, and that's one of them. It's like N's running around doing shopping and opening sealed doors, like Xelpher was a little bit ago, as Xelpher is going to get this R-Series fight very soon, which I suspect he will nuke with Flare and then be done with.
Did you guys remove 2 robots?
Yes. So in Jets, it's only 4 robots here instead of 6. I don't remember the original logic for that. I guess maybe it was proving too difficult for some folks, but at this point, you could possibly add them back. As we can see, it went through very quickly there. A lot of the time, we don't see back. What was that?
We know how to take it out. Might as well turn it into a race flag, you could set.
Yeah, true. It's always possible. Yeah, you often don't see factory, and it's possible, since I don't remember the original reasoning there, it's possible that part of removing those was just to make it a little bit more of an incentive to actually do factory sometimes, since... Yep, outside of the locked characters flag, where doing factory would be required in order to get the Protodome character, we generally don't see people going there except when they really want magic. So...
You can always throw a high-end, or like some high-tier loot into one of the back chests. You want to get runners in here more often.
Yep. Pseudo-Orc pointing out in chat that if you don't have AoE magic and you can't get the gate key, having it, those robots are pretty hard if you don't have AoE magic, and it can be really tough to get through them, and you might not be able to get AoE magic without going through them if they're the only way to get end-of-time access. So, yeah, most of the time they're no problem, but they'll tear you up sometimes, and makes sense. For unlocking magic.
Pete is thinking about that fight, because you end up, it's in vanilla, it's you and one partner against 6 robots, because they took away a robot at that point.
Yep. I guess N is in the back of Aerith Dome here.
It's a somewhat quick check. I I figure, maybe check out Sun to Sun, because it's faster to check it out.
It's true, this is a lower level check, so it could be that N is just figuring, well, I'm probably high enough level for this, let's get it out of the way. There's also the sealed door here in Aerith Dome, which is slightly higher tier stuff than the other sealed chests, if I'm remembering correctly. And yes, this is Flea Plus, I guess, which is basically Flea Minus, because Flea Plus is the one that appears in the triple battle in Ozzy's Fort in Vanilla, so actually has more weaknesses and lower HP. Of course, the HP here is set by the spot, but yeah.
Yeah, Slash and Flea, you want to see plus. Dalton, you do not.
Yep. Yeah, Aku's saying in chat that Flea Plus is very easy if you have status stuff. Unlike regular Flea, Flea Plus is susceptible to status effects, so you can just throw Stop on him or throw Chaos on him. And is, of course, fast through here. Luca has just gotten Fire too, which I'm sure he's happy to see. Now he'll fight the real final boss, catching the rat.
The bane of any mobile player.
Yes, indeed.
We'll see if there has to be a walk of shame after the rat, if you can't get the rat the first try.
Yep. Yeah, my understanding is it's technically very slightly faster to actually go back and get it like in one frame on the way back, but it's more fun to get it early here.
Yeah.
All right, we see Xelpher now going back. Maybe just shopping. Could be going to Hecarim. Oh, it looks like he's getting those mid-ethers from Fritz.
Talking to Chrono real quick, or talking to Fritz.
Yep. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen any key item checks from Xelpher here. I'm interested to see where he decides to go next. If he wants to hit up Mount Woe to get some levels now that he's got magic unlocked, or if he's going to do Hecarim Cave for sort of the same basic idea.
Hecarim Cave at this point would probably get him another tech on all characters.
Yeah, it would certainly. It's got a lot of tech points and could be valuable there. He'll probably blaze through it pretty quickly because he's pretty high level.
From a density standpoint, we as commentators know probably stick around the future for at least the Son of Sun is worth more of your time because you'll get through it faster.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know if these runners would feel that they're up to Son of Sun. That is one of the highest level spots for a boss. Has 6,500 HP. But they do have Flare, and they've been, wiping the floor with with stuff with Flare for a while here. So we'll see. That maybe ends next stop.
Xelpher does decide Hecarim Cave is the answer, so he'll get his prehistory access at the end of this.
Yep. And N is about to get his key item here after a slow cutscene with people shambling closer to him. Let's see what this is. At the Wonder Moon, so that is the Grand Leon for Frog, except that with gear randomization, it has rolled the Wonder effect, which is normally on.
What? That's shoot. Extra damage.
Yeah. So the Wonder effect is basically random damage. If you're lucky, it'll deal a couple thousand. If you're unlucky, it'll deal 50.
Oh, the Gambler Mune. Okay.
Yes, it is certainly a gambler sort of effect there. Could be interesting if we do start seeing any X-Strike stuff, but it looks like Xelpher might be keeping Ayla at this point, actually. Which is interesting, since he did put those resources into Chrono, but I guess Chrono didn't have any amazing techs, so maybe he just sort of said, whatever. We've got Super Slash here, and
I see him taking this fight and having a good shot at it, because Super Slash is the easier one, just like you're talking about Food Park earlier.
Yeah, Super Slash has less magic resistance, which is great with this party with, Flare. And normally has lower HP. HP is set by the spot here, so probably will be a fairly quick fight here.
It's interesting we've seen damage when I can, because we put the Wonder Mune on.
Yeah, so anything physical that we see Frog doing could roll low or could roll very high.
Yeah, he rolled a 1. Critical miss.
Yeah, 1300 damage with those flares. That's still, you know, six flares will get you through this. So as long as Super Slash doesn't take anyone out, which
Getting close.
Yep. Xelpher taking all of these fights, sort of as you'd expect to get as much TP as he can here, especially possibly for Ayla, who he hasn't really been putting much resources into so far. But also, he probably wants to get Fire 2 on Luca, which we saw on N side already, but I don't think Xelpher has gotten yet.
Yeah, it's going to be harder because he didn't have that third tech unlocked that Specchio was already done.
Yep, and Xelpher's unlocking this sealed chest. It's a Zodiac Cape minus.
Minus.
And a Megaton Arm plus. So, we'll see. I think Zodiac Cape is still pretty good armor, but it won't have its usual effect. A little bit unfortunate.
And Magus is the only one that can wear it, so this is basically another pawn item.
Yes.
And a good one at that. It's worth a good bit of money.
Yep. We see N heading to Reptite Lair here with his access to prehistory.
Huh.
Batsy saying it's a magic defense plus 10 that's normally on the Zodiac Cape. Yep. And yeah, that one... Yeah. And I think that's not Magus only, at least according to our wiki. That's the Gloom Cape that's Magus only. The Zodiac Cape is any of the girls. So Luca, Marl, or Ayla can wear that Zodiac Cape.
See, I think Cape, I only think of Magus.
Yeah. But no, this one's not that limited one. Looked like N has gotten one of our secret tunnels here. I missed what he got from it.
Yeah, I was busy looking at that pound on Restaurant over here, because click and you miss it. Xelpher's already through.
Yeah, Xelpher coming here much later. He's gonna just blaze his way through, obviously. So, oh, Rainbow Plus there for N. So, gosh.
With the luck.
Yeah, so that's really good. I didn't actually see what was on it, but I happen to have the spoiler log. Yeah, it has speed plus 3 and a 60% chance of stop, as well as already being the rainbow with the 70% crit and attack of 220. So that is quite the find for N.
Chrono is staying in the party on N side.
I think that Chrono is probably staying in the party. And a gold earring. That could be valuable, especially if you do end up using Frog and Frog Squash on an elevator. People often use the gold earring in order to increase the max HP, so you don't have to get Frog's HP quite as low for those Frog Squash strategies to be effective. I guess I missed, did Xelpher get his gate key?
Yeah, you must have. You don't finish Hyper Cave and not grab it. Yeah, I remember. He was in Luca's laboratory.
Yep, so he's got that. We'll see. It looks like he's heading to the future first. Maybe just feels like this is an easier trek than Reptite Lair, even though he could go to Reptite Lair if he wanted to. N is running into, I believe that is Terra Mutant. I could be wrong. No, Giga Mutant. Still could be a little bit of a rough fight here. A little bit higher level spot. It's not as high level as where it normally comes from. I believe it can cast Obstacle, but the way that we've set it up... Or no, this one doesn't do Obstacle. Mega and Terra do Obstacle. I'm losing track of things here.
Giga is still magic resistant. No,
yes.
sorry, physical.
Physical resistant, yeah. Mega Mutant is the one that you can run up to and smack if you want. So Chrono will probably be mostly on Alchemist duty in this fight, since I think we still haven't seen Lightning 2 or Luminaire.
Players are doing work.
Yeah.
On both sides right now, actually, because we have Xelpher in the 3+ fight.
Yep. No, I mean, I'm guessing these runners are gonna shoot flare at everything they can until they get go mode at this point. Luke is pretty powerful. Some talk in chat about how you can get criticals with confused hits in some very particular circumstances, which is technically a bug, but which probably won't get fixed because it's weird and hard to get. And why would you take away something that's challenging to achieve?
Yeah, it isn't confused. It's set to 4 crit by default, right?
No,
it's 4 regular.
Yeah, it's just 4 regular hits in a row. Chad also pointing out a frame-perfect rat catch on Xelpher screen, which I missed, but guess he got that real fast. I don't think anyone ever does that really on purpose, but it's always cool when they do it anyway. Looks like N got the jerky from Reptite Lair. So that
jerky and a rainbow plus. So
yeah, I don't think he's regretting going down there.
And Anna's picking up the prism shard, thinking maybe trial's the answer.
Yeah, I bet he's sitting here thinking, well, I haven't gotten this stuff with all of these different checks I've done. At this point, it's like, does he go do Genodome in the future, or go to Mount Woe, or, oh right, there's the prism shard, and I think that's the lower hanging fruit for sure. And looks like he is dropping off the jerky here as well. Actually dovetails pretty well with the prism shard, because you have to go to 600 AD for both of them first, and then go to 1000 AD. Picking up these sealed chests at the same time.
Nova armor question mark, and a rainbow arm.
The rainbow arm. So yeah, that is Robo's crisis arm, except that in this it's rolled the increased chance of critical effect that the rainbow normally has. We haven't seen Robo yet, which I guess means he's either on Dactyl Nest or buried in the burrow, so I kind of doubt that we'll see that, but...
Yeah, Xelpher's getting his key item here. Was this the Dreamstone?
I do not remember. No, the Dreamstone was Sun Palace. Airstone was the Wonder Moon, so he has gotten that. You know, it's still a pretty good weapon, so we'll probably stick it on Frog, but a little bit of a gamble
Frog
there.
on both sides of the screen, so that Wonder Moon is going to put in some work this match.
Yep. And yeah, there's a question in chat, are they still looking for something for Go Mode or gearing up to handle that? So there's 3 ways to get Go Mode in this game. You can get both parts of the sword, which they have one part of the sword, and Frog it is also required for that. You can get the pendant and the clone, which they both have, and the Chrono Trigger, which none of them have. Or you can get the Gate Key, which both of them have, as well as the Dreamstone and the Ruby Knife, and has the Dreamstone. So they're looking for something to finish up one of those 3 here.
Yeah, and depending on what's locking what, we have a good chance of divergent Go modes at this point.
Yeah, with both runners very close to several Go modes. Xelpher has 2 of 3 for 2 of them, and 1 of 3 for the other, and has 2 of 3 for 2 of them, and 1 of 3, plus he knows where the Broken Blade is, so decent chance if they decide to do different checks that we will see them going different routes here, which could be exciting.
Yep, and N's getting kicked out of King's Trial. Sneak through the basement.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, if this King's Trial gives them a Go mode, it's possible that N will just feel incredibly behind, because that would mean that was available, right at the start. That would mean it was, Denadoro to get the pendant. The Carpenter is what had the clone, and then started with Marl pretty much. You had her in the Cathedral, plus the Snail Stop. Yeah, I don't think anyone has gone and seen the Burrow character yet, Pseudo-Arc, and no one has checked Dactyl, so we don't know which of those is Magus and which of those is Robo.
You usually don't check the Burrow unless you have the hero medal, because otherwise unless you don't have Marl or Robo yet, you just want to know where they are to see if that takes any checks out.
It's true. We will sometimes see people check the Burrow if they didn't finish the Cathedral. If they're running out of checks. They don't have Marl, they don't have Robo. You might be worried, oh, is Robo in the back of the Cathedral that I skipped at the beginning? But neither of these runners did that. You know, both of them went right to the back. So there isn't really much benefit, as you're saying, of that. And yeah, Batsy saying the same thing in chat, that it's good to check the burrow if you don't know who's behind the cat, because if it's Robo in the burrow, then the death pretty much going to have some go. If it's Magus in the burrow or something, then Robo could be behind Cathedral, and he could be locking everything. So, here's N. We'll see what this unlocks here.
This is the reset point, and it's the
Chrono Trigger. Yeah, so
it's a go mode.
Yeah, this was go mode that was available super early. So N probably feels incredibly behind and doesn't know that Xelpher has not actually found that. Probably start blazing through. DBC Trivia asking if we've done Reptite Lair, and yes, N did Reptite Lair and got the jerky from it.
Yes, and the rainbow part from a secret tunnel.
Yes, and the rainbow from a secret tunnel. Looks like Xelpher is going up Dactyl Nest. Maybe hoping for Robo.
Magus.
Yeah. Unless I'm confused. No, I'm confused. That was just the Mystic Mountains. He is going to Laruba Ruins. We're seeing this more with Gear Rando on. Yep, there's a rock here, and since those rocks can roll as extra effects, they can be especially nice. Let's see what he picks up. Blue Rock Plus. So we don't have the Blue Rock team. That's one we often see people do. That would be Magus, Robo, and Luca. But it can still go on Luca and has the Sunshades effect of plus 25% damage. So not surprising to see Xelpher sticking that straight on Luca. Prism Specs is basically the thing you'd replace that with if you find it. But yep. And here is Xelpher checking out Reptite Lair. He might get a different secret tunnel or no secret tunnel. Could get something else. Oh, he's just going straight for it. And then he'll get that jerky at the end. I don't remember if we saw the jerky gift item get picked up. No, it was the rainbow arm. That's right. So. Not particularly valuable.
I think that was from the steel chest from the jerky in 600. You're dropping it off, not talking to the guy.
Yeah, oh, there is, yeah. Okay, well, I have the spoiler log up, and it is the rainbow arm, but maybe he didn't get that, might have been. In any case, it's the arm, and we don't have Robo, so.
More money.
Yep, although I think you can't sell that one. More money, just kind of wasted indoor space. Joking about giving Atropos the rainbow arm. She's pretty much the same model as Robo. Seems like not the best plan to give your enemy really powerful weapons, but, you know, do what you do, I guess.
Do not give the enemy endgame weapons.
Yes. And, there's Atropos down pretty quickly. Not terribly surprising. Pretty powerful party at this point, and Atropos follows a very strict script, so it's, if you know what you're doing, it's pretty easy to just get through her.
So we'll have N going to Death's Peak a little bit here.
Yes, presumably we'll head to Keeper's Dome to get the helpful little Poyoza dolls. Yep, and then head through Death Peak, which could be very fast. You can skip everything except the boss battle on Death Peak. If you know how to do it, it takes a little bit of finesse for sure. Aku joking that give her the crisis arm. Hope she gets a 0. Make sure she doesn't do any damage to you.
The gambler strats. And you got one immune on Frog.
Yep. And here's N getting those mid-ethers before he heads on and starts his go mode. Batsy pointing out, yeah, all the bosses have multiples of 10 for their HP, so it's easy to make sure you have a 0 for that Crisis Arm. If we, in this hypothetical world where we can give her a weapon.
We're already modding the game anyway.
It's true.
Giga Mutant giving some trouble to Xelpher. Ayla's taking a nap. But this is very much while I'm talking about it.
Yep.
Oh, yep. There it goes.
Yep. And once again, Xelpher is here later than N was and is thus getting through it pretty quickly. I think at this point it is safe to say that Xelpher is behind since N has found Go mode. But we'll just have to see how folks go here.
I think where Xelpher goes, we might see he's 2 checks behind on Ocean Palace. We could still pick up the Sword, which still wouldn't be that great because Magus Castle is generally considered the slowest Go mode.
Yeah, it is slower. You know, depending on the player, it can be a little bit faster, slower. So we'll definitely see what Xelpher goes for here. It's possible. DBZ Tribby saying Genodome, and I think it's actually possible that he would go Genodome at this point. He's done a lot of checks, and he might be thinking, "Hey, let's gamble on something." And Xelpher likes Genodome. He might also do Mount Woe. He is checking the burrow here, and it looks like it is Magus, meaning that Robo is on Dactyl Nest. So it looks like Xelpher may have been checking that in order to see if he can go get Robo and do the desert quickly here. See if he just heads right down there or not.
You know, taking aside the fact that you gotta go climb Dactyl Nest to get him, desert is one of the fastest checks out there, despite the fact both runners have dove in there a few times already.
Yeah, you know, I think that Dactyl Nest, you know, there's a couple of kind of tricky skips, and a few fights that you have to run from. It is fairly fast, and especially knowing that you're going to get exactly the character you want, as Xelpher does here, I can see why he might go for it, because, yeah, getting through the boss in the desert will probably not take particularly long at this point. And so far, getting some of these skips pretty well. Right as I say it, he hits one.
Here's Curse.
Yep. But just running from them. Some people will fight these things in order to grind a little bit, especially later on. There's sort of a river of these cracker enemies. But I think by and large, people usually just try to skip these, get to the boss at the end of this, and then you can use the enemies on the Black Omen to gain some nice levels and tech points.
I believe one of the NMG routes, no major glitches, or vanilla, you would take that cracker fight and try to hit 7 crackers on screen, thereabouts, and you can do that repeatedly. So
I think you can either get 5 or 6, I think, in any given fight, but yeah, you'll use that, and that does regenerate. If you exit the room, you can reset it, so it can be a grind spot that's valuable in some situations.
Okay, so forgetting his robot buddy going to the desert.
Going right to the desert. So we'll get to see what that is. I
hope it's Hero's Medal, which is locking the other piece of the sword, so we can get Frog all kitted out.
That's true. It's with the using Frog here, getting all of his weapons would be kind of fun. Yeah, I guess I should mention. I think I did at the beginning, but I'll mention it again. So this is one of our top 4 matches, and at this point in our tournament, we are switching to a best of 3. So whoever wins this will just have 1 point. This is the first of their best of 3. So no one will be eliminated or knocked into the lower bracket by this match, but we will have another match with these two, I believe, Sunday. And we'll start seeing some other matches from other top 4 players in the tournament, I think starting on Monday. Corinth and Azure Kale, who are our lower bracket pair. Interestingly, we have a vanilla desert boss here. Retinite is who's normally here. Use water magic to lower its defense and then smack it a bunch. And DBZ Trivia is asking if Xelpher got the Dreamstone. I don't remember, but he might have.
Dreamstone was...
That one was the one that was on Sun Pal.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, Xelpher did dive that. Did he not finish it?
I thought that he did finish it. I'm opening up his stream just to double check. That would put him 2/3 of the way to everything.
Don't blame our tracker, because the tracker likes to eat inputs.
Yes, it's true, and
I've experienced that firsthand.
yes, the SpeedGaming tracker is sometimes a little finicky. Yeah, Batsy, Lord Batsy is our tracker for this match, and is saying exactly that, yeah, it probably ate the inputs. I think you can sometimes turn it off and turn it on again, and the computer, I guess. We are seeing Yakra the First up on Death Peak here.
What's
this
he
Yakra
doing
will...
up there?
Yeah, who knows? He's down already. He is a little bit more powerful up here, higher hit points, scaled up a little bit in terms of level and stuff, but it's still Yakra. So, yes, Batsy's saying, to say it in gaming terms, the tracker has poorly defined hitboxes. I think that's probably about accurate in terms of what's happening here.
Did anyone catch what was in Cathedral? I blinked and I missed it.
Has Xelpher already picked up the item from that? Let's see. That was the Moonstone, looks like, from the spoiler log.
You know, decrepit Robo cutscene. I missed that. So yeah, you said Dreamstone?
No, the Moonstone was there. He actually has the Dreamstone, as we were just talking about.
All the stones.
Yeah, so we'll see if Xelpher is just going to go snail stop now and get that Prism Shard, which would then get him on the same go mode as N, though he would have the Moonstone and might decide to at least drop it off, because that gives him 2 checks at once, since he does have all the time periods and stuff ready. I think we'll have to see what he decides to go for here. He could...
He's still on the hunt, so I see it as a pretty valid play.
Yeah, though it doesn't look like he got the Prism Shard. Yeah, Knights of the Calculator asking if there's a spot you don't want to run into Yakra, and Batsy saying correctly, those end of the Black Omen spots, he can be pretty powerful, actually. Counterattacks especially. With the flags we're running for this, he's not quite as dangerous there. Since the boss spot HP flag is on, his HP will be a little bit lower there than it would be without that, just because normally he's getting scaled up from, a level 1 spot to like a level 25 spot. So he'll pull in a lot. Yep, there's Xelpher grabbing the Prism Shard. So he is probably going to do that next. But yeah. What was that?
Well, he might do it after he sets up the first card, third card.
Yeah. But yes, double Yakra is also the other spot that he can sometimes be annoying. That's the twin golem spot in the Ocean Palace, and if he's there, he can counterattack you multiple times, and again, he's leveled up quite a bit. So I think those are really the only places where it's dangerous, sort of the end of the go mode dungeons, but every so often, he's actually a threat.
Yeah, that counterattack, if you give him enough power tap, will do some damage. Okay, yeah, Xelpher is setting up the Sunstone, so he'll get 2 checks and potentially 2 go modes out of this trial play.
Yeah, looking at what he has left, he's got the Hero's Medal and the Toma's Pop, which are both, continuation dungeons. But other than that, oh, and the Robo Ribbon, other than that, everything he can get is basically a go mode. So, Xelpher's probably hoping to just get 2 go modes out of this and go right to whichever one he likes best. I think we have not seen where the Ruby Knife is at all yet. But
Yeah, that could be what's hiding behind Moonstone.
it could be.
Or just really good soda. We haven't seen Thomas Pop yet either.
Yep. Yeah, at this point, I'm trying to think, but I don't know if Xelpher actually has any checks other than this and Genodome and Mount Woe. So we see Xelpher doing a thing there. He gets a helmet when you've charged up the Sunstone. You can stop by Tabin, and he will give you a free high-tier helmet.
Yeah, you'll get another one if you forge the Masamune. That'd be a weapon.
Yeah, you can get a weapon if you forge the Masamune, and go talk to Tabin as well. At this point, I'm guessing we won't see that, because if Xelpher gets the Chrono Trigger and the other piece of the sword from the King's Trial, he's probably not going to go, given that choice.
Yeah, only a few runners would take Magus Castle over Best Peak.
Yep, there are a few. But, yes, I just saw there too in Xelpher's screen, one of the fun little bits with gear randomization is Ayla's fists actually also get randomized. They get set into one of a few sort of scripts. In this case, hers is set to boost hit. So right now it's hit +2. That fist levels up automatically when you hit level 24. And I think at that point it would upgrade to maybe +6. I'm trying to remember exactly what's in that script, but I'm going to go open the wiki page that will tell me. Yeah, so upgrades to hit +10 at level 24. Those fists also upgrade again at level 48, but of course in Jets of Time we normally don't see level 48, so we will not see that in this case.
Yeah, you rarely go above 35.
Yeah, the end game, Lavos is designed to sort of be beatable at 30 to 35 usually. Again, I'm guessing here that we're going to see 2 Black Omen happening simultaneously here in a minute, and it'll just be a question of if Xelpher can blaze through it quicker, or if the bosses give N some trouble, or N maintains this lead he's got.
Yeah, right now he's probably looking at a 10-15 minute lead.
Yeah, something like that.
Mode.
Yep, I didn't see exactly when N got out of, or got his go mode, got out of the Prism Shard dungeon. I don't know if anyone in chat took note of exactly when he finished that, but that would probably be the thing to compare with here for Xelpher, as he's about to find his Chrono Trigger and know that he has go mode.
I don't know if he'll double back for that Moonstone check at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the question is just, what if he would prefer Tyranno over Omen? Those are more comparable in terms of the amount of time they take. Honestly, with this party, I think he'd be pretty well off in either one, and might just go with Omen fairly quick, and just not bother checking.
It's hour 20 in. You think you're behind, so it's like I just gotta take it and run.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, Xelpher. I know Xelpher doesn't usually like the Prism Shard, which is probably why he waited so long to check this. And he's probably thinking correctly in this case that N must have gotten it much sooner. Though he might be thinking that N got it 20 minutes in when he did, which was still quite a bit later than he could have in theory.
Yeah, Snail Stop with Marl Cathedral. This check has been here, just calling to our runners since the beginning.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could see some gardening text for Robo. Chat saying. Because he's good at it. Made a whole forest.
Yeah. Harvest Moonstone, yeah, I like it. You can just have a 400-year game, you know. It'll be sped up a little bit for the game, right? You know, might only take 400 hours. I don't know. So here's N. Gonna check the new shop here. These shops at the new here and the new in Kajar are high tier stuff. We've got mega elixirs and amulets. Amulet is always guaranteed. A Tabin suit, hyper ethers and elixirs. This is quite a good new shop here.
Although, did either runners get any mega elixirs for this upcoming Zeal fight?
I don't know if they have any yet, but there were some in the shop here. So it's quite possible that N is going to try to sell a bunch of stuff in order to do exactly that. You know, at this point,
at least one for this fight, because after Zeal's one attack, all your party is set to 1 HP.
Yep, and that's exactly the thing you do. And actually, even if you don't use it for Zeal 1, you know, right after Zeal 1, there's the menu glitch, so you can use just stuff in your menu. But during Zeal 2, there is Halation that gets cast, and that will bring everyone to 1, and then right after it, she'll cast MP Buster, which will then take someone's MP to 0. So if you're playing it safe right after Halation, you'll throw the Mega Elixir out. If you're playing it a little bit less safe, you'll wait for the MP Buster and hope nobody gets killed in the process.
Yeah. We can see N pick up a total of 3 Mega Elixirs. So
yep.
He's in good shape for the rest of the run here, just has to power through the Black Omen.
Yep, and I don't know if I saw him pick up any amulets. They are for sale here because when we don't have boss randomization on, we'd be running into Giga Mutant and then Terra Mutant who cast Obstacle up here. With boss randomization on, it's actually relatively unlikely that you're going to get something up here that will cast Obstacle, so it could be, unless I missed N buying an amulet, or if he's got some other kind of status protection, he may just be kind of playing it fast and loose and hoping that nothing up here got Obstacle and rolled Stop or something that's going to be a real wall.
I know someone picked up a Vigil hat at one point. I didn't see if it was Linus or not.
Okay. Yep, and here's Xelpher checking that Moonstone, and getting the Robo's ribbon. So,
he does have Robo. You know.
He does have Robo, it's true. Hasn't really put any resources into him. But, yeah, I bet what we're going to see is Xelpher going and hitting Death Peak as soon as he can at this point.
Yeah, and Mara will go back to her hidey hole and probably bring Chrono back out.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, Mara will get haste eventually, and re-raise can also be pretty valuable if she gets that. That's Jet's addition. We got rid of Cure 1 because it was not really ever getting used, and added re-raise, which works exactly like you'd expect re-raise to work if you've played a Final Fantasy game. It gives the effect that's on the Green Dream, or that's created by the Lifeline tech normally in Chrono Trigger, which is that if you die, you get up again. And that's often a safety strategy that people will use. You can play it a little bit more dangerously if you know that someone's gonna come back up if you happen to get wiped.
You see Robo come into the party with the Robo's ribbon and the rainbow arm. So Xelpher is running a different endgame team as he heads to his
Yeah, and Batsy's pointing out in chat here that the girl power team, which is to say Ayla, Luca, and Marl, can be great for Omen because you can use Antipode 3, which is very powerful on the Mammon machine, and then you can use Blaze Kick, which is a dual tech between Ayla and Luca, to hit Zeal 2. And of course, Flare is great on the Omen in general because everything's weak to fire, and Luca has very high magic, and between those two, Flare is very, very quick. And getting caught here by the Martello. A lot of the times we'll see runners avoid this. I guess he's not going for a drop. Sometimes people will take those fights if they know that those enemies are dropping something really valuable. But no, N's just getting another rainbow home.
Yeah.
It's that his third or fourth.
So start off rough, but these runners both have pretty great gear to approach the endgame with.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what we've been seeing a lot with gear rando. Even with hard items is making the early game a little bit more challenging, but once you get something that rolled really well with gear randomization, like that Rainbow Plus that N has, or actually that Blue Rock Plus that Xelpher has, you're in pretty good shape. I'm all N picking up the Waste Helm, which is what would have been the Haste Helm, except that the haste effect was taken off of. Sometimes that comes up as like the Waste Helm Plus if it gets given a different effect that like boosts a stat or something, but in this case it looks like it's just a relatively high level. And yes, welcome in Raiders from SpeedGaming 4. We're playing Jets of Time, the Chrono Trigger randomizer.
And both our runners are in go mode at this point, for those of you just joining us. Xelpher just starting on his climb up SP for the beginning of it, while all N is on his second of 4 bosses with the gauntlet.
Yeah, this is the first of the ones that are on Black Omen itself. This is the spot that would be Giga Mutant before, and the spot that would be Mega Mutant is removed in Jets. Getting through it pretty quickly, this is the lower level lava spawn that would normally on Death Peak, where Xelpher is, as opposed to the Elder spawn that we could see appear, but is very slightly harder.
I feel like the Jets seed generator has a sense of humor, so we probably will see Elder spawn right after this.
It's certainly possible. So we watch more Rainbow Helms pop up. This time on Xelpher's side. I'm sure that hadn't picked that up earlier.
What triple tech does N side have? I'm trying to remember. Chrono's triple tech with everybody.
Yeah. Let me just pull up our wiki, which is good about Chrono. So that one has Delta Storm, which is shadow damage on all enemies. It uses Lightning 2, Fire 2, and Water 2. Could be nice style points. I'm not sure it's going to be a particularly powerful tech here.
Xelpher's team having no real triple techs, but it's still a powerhouse.
Yeah. Looks like Xelpher did bring in Robo.
Well, he got the ribbon.
He does have the ribbon, and I could see, he could be going for a party that will give him a lot of flexibility. You've got Luca has fire with Fire 2, you've got Blaze Kick with Ayla, and you've got Fire Tackle with Robo. You've got Uzi Punch and Robo Tackle on Robo. You've got Triple Kick on Ayla. You've got a lot of different options as far as what you can do with that party, and it could be that he's going for that sort of like, I can use my ATB bars as soon as they come up, so that's going to be fastest kind of strategy.
Don't underestimate Charm on Ayla.
That's also true, especially later on here. Charm can sometimes pull up some nice things.
Are tabs still in the pool? Charmables?
Yeah, tabs can be charmed. They can drop from things, and that is something that often, maybe not often, but at least sometimes happens on Black Omen.
The endgame, actually. I know these panels in Black Omen in vanilla had speed tabs on them.
Yes. That was the place to farm them in vanilla, but not here, I guess. Well, we'll see, I guess, maybe. Maybe Xelpher will, yeah.
We'll learn how to make it easier.
Yep. And N is here on the elevator in Black Omen. In vanilla, the number of encounters on these elevators is actually totally random. And in the past in Jets, 2 runners playing the same seed could even get different numbers of encounters on these elevators. We have changed that so that for race friendliness, everyone will always get the same number of encounters on both of the elevators in the Omen.
And doing a little quick napkin math here, Xelpher is about 11 minutes behind based on entering the... If we go straight to the Omen, doesn't make any other stops.
Yeah, so that's not an impossible gap to make up, but it is pretty substantial, and N has got some good gear and may not have any particular trouble. Can you think of anything that you think might give N some trouble here if we ran into it as a bot?
Like you said, his team is more flexible, so... Oh, no, sorry, you're talking about N. What could give him trouble here?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I'm not thinking of much.
Always a pain, unless we saw him already.
Yeah, that's true. You could get a Dalton here that's kind of high tier. I mean, you've got decent elements and stuff. Yes, of course, Golem boss. Scariest boss in the game.
The regular slash would be very scary here.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, you've got a lot of magic damage, so you would be limiting a lot of the damage that different party members would be doing. You'd be relying a lot on Confuse. He doesn't completely absorb magic, so I think a lot of players would just kind of try to power through it. Yeah, Batsy confirming that Slasher Flea original flavor would not be much fun here. I think either of those would give Xelpher's party sort of similar trouble. Actually, the calculator mentioning Nizbal 2. The thing with Nizbal 2 is that you can usually just kind of slam it with a bunch of magic. Normally there's the whole mechanic where you use lightning to drop its physical defenses, but, in Jets, you don't have lightning, you just kind of hit it with stuff. He would hit pretty hard, that's true. Oh, and welcome in raids from SpeedGaming 2. Just to say it again, we're playing Jets of Time, which is the Chrono Trigger randomizer. This is the semi-final match for the top 4 in our fall tournament, the Cadillac Cup.
Yeah, this is game 1 of 3, or potentially 3. And both runners are in go mode, both going up the Black Omen path.
Yep. And you called it here, Elder Spawn. Over here on a...
Randomizer has a sense of humor.
Yep.
The other race I watched had it wasn't an Omen, it was just like another back-to-back spot. It was 2 different mutants, so it's like it likes to group things. Same with Slash and Flea end up in pairs somehow.
Yep, and yeah, Aku saying in chat Vanilla Lavos, which is not quite true. This is the Terra Mutant spot, but it's at least a French Vanilla Lavos spawn here. This one's a little
off away the break room, and he was in a new spot. It happens.
Yeah, Yep, this one is a little bit more challenging. Just has a few more attacks. It's a little bit rougher of a script. Yeah, close enough. Exactly, Aku. And N has Luca down already, and is about to have... Well, maybe Frog isn't down yet. We'll see. Could get dicey.
Roll to 43, which is lower than... So, gonna need to power through here or start here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this Lavo Spawn Needle here may take out Frog and Luca. Yep, it is. Chrono's only got 94. Ooh, this is a little bit dicey.
I'm just trying to win this DPS race. Ooh, destruction zone. This could hit hard.
Yeah, he did get that elixir off, so
he's using the life.
He's using life, so he's gonna try to...
Okay, he's doing it.
Yeah, pulling some people up. I mean, that does make sense to me, Especially Frog has heal, so that's going to be important if you want to be dealing with the damage that's getting dealt out to you. But now Chrono's down. Oof.
Yeah.
And a reset.
Opted for a reset. I would have thought he might want to power through, because he had a lot of damage on that. I wasn't keeping close track. I feel like he was in the end of that fight.
Yeah, it could be... Yeah, it looks like he put on a stud and a prism specs or something like that, so I guess he's just saying, okay, well, if I have a little bit more damage and a little bit more HP, maybe I'll be fine. Decent logic, I don't...
on Alchemist duty for this fight, just keep everyone healed up and let the swordsman hack away.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, Betsy pointing out doesn't have the greatest armor across all his characters.
Yeah. It's true, and definitely has kind of a glass cannon party here. You know, he's got flare and he's got that rainbow, but not so great on the armor necessarily.
Can't use glass without fire magic.
Yep.
Yeah, Weak-Line, Alchemist Duty Feeding, Chrono, Atomics.
Yep. Yeah, and let's see, Confuse is doing 600 damage a pop. I believe this spot is about 10,000 HP. So he will need a pretty decent number of hits to,
Well, basically 4 rounds of Confuse with some extra damage from Frog will push him over the limit then.
Yeah, is that right? I think... Yeah, so... If he can keep alive for that decent amount of time, those Prism Specs on Chrono certainly are serving him well here. I didn't see how much he was doing before, but,
Xelpher getting in the elevator, right? Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the numbers either. So, seeing those 600s, you know, makes you think Prism Specs are putting in some serious work.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, those increased damage by 50%, so... What does that mean? It was 400 before, probably, and is through. So I've got one more boss in the gauntlet here after he does this. A Black Rock Plus.
And
See if he looks at
Xelpher coming up on his first boss?
Yes, I think. No, unless
There's a
Xelpher's
new
on his
shop,
second.
yeah.
Yeah, Xelpher's at the new shop, and then he'll be going on
Not
to...
that first one, but it really is End's race to lose here as he gets a Dalton.
Oof.
Ooh.
I'm sure he's not super happy to see that. He does have some decent damage.
Dalton plus. Oh,
So-
I've jinxed him. Well, both of them. Xelpher's gonna get him too.
Yep, it's true. Dalton Plus has a few different attacks. This first little, like, fireball thingy is pretty weak. He does have a much more powerful one later. And deciding what to do here. Looks like he was choosing who exactly he wanted to be getting the counters from Dalton. 4,000 damage already is quite substantial. So...
Did he keep those prison specs on Chrono then, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I don't think I saw him take them off. And that does make sense. You know, he just needs to get the damage. And honestly, that'll probably be valuable for Zeal as well, because you're going to be sending Chrono up doing Confuse. So, I expect he'll keep those till the end here.
Yeah. That's better than trying to do manipulate critical Confuses with Rage Band that we don't have.
Yes. And yeah, Fantastodon asking in chat, is it usual to see different party compositions in races? And I think Lord Batsy's answer, which is that it's neither typical nor atypical, is pretty accurate. You know, some races you'll see both people like the first 3 characters they get and roll with it the whole way, or, you know, they don't like it and different people go different directions. So, yeah.
A lot of it comes down to runner preference.
Yeah, it certainly
you get
does.
the characters you get, and you don't, you know, if there's a character in the burrow, you're not going to forge a sword just to get it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You have to play around a good bit, but yeah, runner preference always takes precedence.
Yep. And yeah, you know, you'll see a little bit more in Lost Worlds, which is a different mode that we have. There's only 4 character pickups, so you'll see slightly more similar parties, but also people are getting forced into possibly using parties that they aren't quite as fond of a few times. So, yep. I see Aku saying, oh no, N.
Yeah, he was having a little trouble with his frog staying up.
Yes, but there is...
Yep, he's through it. The Golden Boss summon is the end of the Dalton Plus fight as he sinks into the abyss of his own creation.
Yep, and then gets sucked into a time portal or something. I don't know.
Good riddance either way.
Yep, and so yeah, at this point, N will be going, saving again, probably, and then going into the final battle, which will be against Zeal 1, who is basically a pushover, and then the Mammon Machine. Between those two, there's a vanilla glitch that we use a lot, which is called the menu glitch, where you can pull up the menu between the 2 fights. We'll probably see our runners use that in order to heal between those fights. Mammon Machine is beefed up a little bit in Jets, but is mostly a damage race. And then we'll go on to Zeal 2, who you want to hit the center of until you take her down 20,000 hit points.
I'd really like to see Prison Effect on everybody, but that's a little greedy to expect.
Yep, Xelpher is getting quite close to his first boss here, but definitely quite a ways behind. To catch up, I think that and would probably need to be hitting some pretty serious trouble with Zeal here. We shall see, though. It is always possible.
I didn't catch N's levels. Maybe we'll see a menu soon, unless someone knows what the average is.
Yeah, levels aren't quite as important by this route, but he did do a pretty decent amount of checks, so my guess is that he's doing at least, mid-20s, somewhere like that, which is usually sufficient for Zeal mode, from what I've seen.
They are very formulaic fights that you gotta play around.
Yeah, it's true. These are definitely fights that are built around knowing what's going to happen when in the script, so that you can, when you get to Zeal 2, Halation comes when you've gotten rid of half of her HP, so you can kind of plan, you know exactly who she's going to go after with the MP Buster, similar sorts of things.
That Mega Elixir for right after MP Buster, but before anything else can happen.
Yep, ideally. Sometimes you'll get lasers from the hands that will take you down in there, but yeah, Aku pointing out that high damage Fire Sword 2 will probably take him through Zeal pretty quickly. Does seem correct. Here's N on the menu glitch. In the very early phases of this tournament, we had a flag on called Free Menu Glitch that makes the window for that wider to hit, but turn that off for top 8 and later.
If you're good enough to get here, you're good enough to hit a 4-frame window or whatever it is.
Yeah, probably in general. Xelpher working his way through this Lavos spawn here. Who is down. I guess Xelpher knew exactly where he was sitting there. Just that quick cat attack from Ayla.
While we have you all here, please go give the runners a follow at some point. They're working hard for the money.
Yes, the zero money that we have for this, but that's fine.
It's like Whose Line Is It Anyway points. And they got a lot of them.
Indeed. Yep, and while we're in a little bit of a lull here as well, I'll drop some links in the chat, but if you're interested in learning how to play this randomizer, we have a Discord community and a nice detailed wiki, and the links are down there in the chat. We're very welcoming. We did a whole new player event earlier this year. We'd love to have you, and additionally, if you're interested, whether you play or not, but hopefully you know a little bit about the game, if you're interested in doing commentary or tracking for our runs, we'd love to have some more people in order to do that as we're finishing out this tournament. So both of those things, you can join our Discord or talk to the SpeedGaming folks about those possibilities. We see N is through mana.
YouTube, Camp Specchio is what you look out for training and do it yourself.
Yeah, that was our new player event earlier this year. Yep.
This isn't the alternative music on any side.
No, that does only appear when Magus is in your party and fighting Z.
And that's actually found out from a previous race that happened in vanilla as well during Magus' fight.
Yep. Yep, that's not something we changed. A little bit earlier, you all might have heard the Singing Mountain track that's not in the vanilla game until the DS stuff was on Death Peak. We do have some flags that we have setups that allow that to be replaced and also allow an alternate battle theme to appear on Xenon Bridge, which we might have heard from Xelpher earlier if we had been on his music, which I don't think we were. But yeah, just some fun things we've got in our rando.
Xelpher grinding through these Black Omen fights.
Yep, as N is doing exactly what Aku suggested, which is powering through with those fire swords. 4,000 damage is certainly nothing to scoff at as far as this. You need 5 hits to do that. We're seeing Halation here.
Now we're going to see a Mega Elixir in a second.
Yes, presumably.
Right after Fire Sword 2, that's nice because I'll save the MP from that.
Yeah, that's true. Looks like N is not waiting for the MP Buster, but he does have plenty of other stuff to recover some MP if
and
needed.
Out frog anyway.
Yep. So there's Xelpher getting those prism specs, which I'm sure he will throw on somebody right away. Yep.
Straight on to Ayla.
Yep, which certainly makes sense.
Blue Rock has effects on Luca, so yeah, we'll be hitting like a truck with Robo on heal duty, probably Alchemist.
Yep, but N has finished.
GG's.
GG.
Hour 48. It's very respectable.
Yep, 1 hour 48 minutes, and I guess the race time says
19
23.
seconds?
Yeah, the race time says 23 seconds, which is our official thing, but doesn't make too much difference. So we may get N in here soon for an interview. I think that I can do that as soon as he is marked done. All right. So we can give N a minute here. Might hop in for an interview.
And Xelpher's going through his Lavos Outer Spawn fight. For a second I thought he'd forfeit, but it's just a laggy stream.
Yeah, I suspect at this point, maybe if Xelpher hits a wipe or something, he'll go, whatever, I've already lost. But if not, I suspect we'll see him finish this out. Does seem to be pretty badly lagged here, though. Hopefully we'll get it back soon.
There it is on my end, so...
Yeah, it's blipping in a little bit. Okay, well, working. Looks like Xelpher has made it through his second boss there, the Elder Spawn. He's starting on Dalton here. He is going through this very quickly, kind of as expected. Wasn't enough to make up for the slightly faster routing that N got there, getting to that Prism Shard a little bit earlier.
Yeah, if he had gone snail step before Reptite Lair, would have been closer.
Yep. All right. Hello, N.
Hello.
Congrats, GG's.
GG.
Thank you.
So how'd you feel about this seed?
I imagine that Omen looked very boring just doing non-stop flare through the whole place. But
yeah,
you know, I figure it might have been an advantage having Luca, because I don't know if Xelpher would have completed Cathedral. So
yeah,
I
interestingly
don't know
enough,
how it went.
Yeah, no, interestingly enough, Xelpher did also finish Cathedral, so both of you were pretty much flaring everything from early on there. Xelpher went through a few more checks. He's also an Omen at this point, just finishing up that Dalton Plus fight. But yeah, he got some slightly different stuff. He's running with Robo and Ayla, which I believe you were not, because you didn't pick either of them up. But
It was so Robo was on Dactyl.
Yeah, Robo's on Dactyl and Magus was in the burrow. And yeah, he got very close. He had 2/3 of every go mode by the end there. He did finish Xenon early on, which he reset out of. And yeah, didn't We didn't see Gino or Woe from anybody, but
Oh,
Xelpher
I was
just went through a few more
expecting the early woe from Xelpher.
Yeah, I was
That's
kind
been
of thinking you
his
might
move.
too. Yeah, one interesting thing is Xelpher got the pendant before he got the gate key, so he actually went through the factory and unlocked magic, and then like went back and did Hecarim, and after having done that, I was sort of wondering if he would go through the factory and then duck right into Woe to get a bunch of experience and gear, but he elected not to. So Xelpher here is just starting Zeal 1.
He was right on your heels.
Yeah, I think the fortunate decision was when I decided to go back to Prism Shard. And, sometimes it's just a random chance of, which quest you're going to do next.
Yeah, it was such an open seed, for sure. I can imagine, we were sort of speculating that once you got Prism Shard there and figured out, like, oh yeah, this was like a 4-check go mode, it's the Carpenter, the Snail Stop, the Trial, and Donadoro, and you're done. We were wondering if you were going to feel, like, very behind at that point, or just happy you'd finally found it.
Yeah, I was definitely contemplating which fights to take in the Omen, because I wanted to get through it as fast as possible.
Certainly.
I figured we probably had go mode about the same time, so it could just come down to execution in the Omen, and sounds like I was at least a little bit ahead, so I had some buffer to work with.
Yeah, I do think you were ahead. You got that Rainbow Plus in Reptite Lair, which I think was really, really helping. I do think Xelpher is maybe... Yeah, no, I do think Xelpher has maybe made up a little bit of time here. Pyro, I think...
He's got specs on the other two party members in some form.
Yeah, no, Pyro, I think you were saying Xelpher entered Death Peak, or not Death Peak, Black Omen like 11 minutes after ended. So I think he might have made up a little bit of time on that, but obviously both players executed pretty well, had some really good damage here so. Xelpher is on to Zeal 2.
And one of my always good goals is to not die, and, well, I at least violated that one time, but, it wasn't too bad, especially on Zeal.
Yeah, it's true. You had that, I forget where you had that one wipe. It was maybe the first Lavos.
Elder Lavos.
It was the Elder, yeah. But saw you went back and stuck those Prism specs on, and stuck a stud on, and then made it through pretty efficiently, so. And yeah, not dying is often the ideal strategy, if you can call it that.
Yeah, switching those prison specs was a good call. I was a little surprised you reset, because I thought you were near the end of that fight, with one character remaining and at risk of dying any time.
Yeah, I think I had a needle spin in the air that I just knew was going to wipe Frog, so I might have reset a little bit early before it hit, but it was coming.
Yeah, fair enough. Does look like Xelpher has a little bit more damage here. We were talking earlier about how the Robo Ayla Luca party is one where you can really mix and match a lot. You've got those powerful dual techs with Luca, with both of them, and they've both Robo and Ayla have pretty strong physical techs, so I think he's doing a little bit more damage here.
Yeah, he actually just did in 2 rounds 12,000 damage.
Yep, and just got hit with Halation here. I'm sure he's about to throw out a Mega Elixir and then continue the same.
Yeah, so with Blaze Kick and Uzi Punches, he can really do more damage in a turn cycle, where I was just looking for 5 Fire 2s and call it good.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on here. I bet he's real close to finishing here.
This might be it, depending on how the little remainders rolled up.
Yep.
Oh,
and
there it is, yep.
There he is. GG's to Xelpher there.
So 2. He did Omen about 3 minutes faster than you. and all put together. I mean, again, these are just rough napkin maths here.
Yep. No, he made up a little bit of time there. Xelpher's always very efficient at that, and I'm guessing that is him. No. Oh, there he is. Hi, Xelpher. Welcome in, GG.
Hello, and thank you. Much appreciated.
Yeah, so how did you feel about this seed?
Oh, man.
I was speculating as you were going there that you had put off the prism shard about as long as you could and probably got it and just immediately went, oh, dang it. Like, someone else got this way faster.
Oh, man. I was like, at first I thought I was doing okay. And then I got to Hecarim and saw it was the gate key, and I'm like, oh, no. This is not good.
No. You just spent all that time going through factory, yeah.
Yep. I went through factory. I got to the future. I'm like, all right, I got all these checks. I don't know where the next thing is. We're okay. I saw a gate key. I was like, oh, no. This was here the whole time, and I just faded this, and I never do this. No.
Yep, no, it was a very open seed, and didn't get quite as many go mode items as you did, but I think only one less, maybe? Something like that. You know, you picked up the blade and he didn't, but basically both of you had 2 parts of every go mode at the end there, and it was just a matter of jumping on that prism shard quest, pretty much.
Yeah. I have to ask, so what was behind Gino and Woe?
Yes, so Mount Woe was the hero medal, and the burrow was the ruby knife, so that would have given Tyranno mode. Genodome was the Toneless pop, and in Giant's Claw was where you got the Bent Hilt, so that was Magus Castle go mode. So, yeah, basically it was do the trial, do Genodome, or do Mount Woe.
Huh. If I would have gotten the gate key early, I would have been like, oh, maybe I'll go Woe then.
Yeah, no, we were speculating a little bit, like, oh, maybe he'll go through the factory to get magic and then go immediately to Woe just to get those levels and tech points, but I think that might have been when you went to Hecarim for tech points instead, and of course figured out that you missed the gate key there and all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the time I got to Future, I'm like, all right, all I need is the trigger or the sword piece. I was like, I really can't do Gino or Woe right now as much as I want to. I'm like, I just gotta do the quick checks. One of them is bound to have it. Half an hour later.
Yep.
I was just sitting there like, all right, well, how likely is it that N is going to go over to Woe or Gino? I'm like, I think I'm okay. And then when I saw the Prism Shard was there the whole time, I was like, maybe he didn't go to Prism early? Maybe
you can hope, but yeah.
There's a chance.
Runners have an aversion to Prism Shard.
What's that?
A lot of the runners have an aversion to doing Prism Shard too early.
That's exactly what I was hoping. I'm like, all right, maybe there's a chance here. But like for the past half hour, I was just looking at the race channel, waiting for the done.
Yeah, with these super open seeds, it's always that like, well, maybe they made the right 4 checks first and are going to finish at, hour and 20 or whatever. But
that's exactly what I was waiting for.
Yeah. So, well, GG both of you. As we've mentioned a few times here, this is a best of 3 at this stage. So, these 2 runners are scheduled to do another match, I believe, on Sunday. Yes, Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. It'll be these same 2. We don't know what channel yet. We don't know who will be talking yet. All that. But, so that will either throw it to N, or Xelpher will win that one, and we'll go to a 3rd match. As I mentioned before, the winner of this best of 3 will go on to the grand finals, and the loser will go down into the losers bracket to go against the winner of the losers bracket final, in order to determine 3rd place and determine the 2nd member of the final there. So I hope we can see all of you who are watching then. Once again, if you'd like to learn how to play Chrono Trigger, you can look at those links that someone has just conveniently put into the chat. Join our Discord, read the wiki, get the game, all of that. We're very friendly. We did a new player event earlier this year, and we'd love for you to come join us, or come help us with commentary or whatever, really. So, Pyro, you got any final thoughts here?
Just another nail-biting race here in Just in Time. That's what we're all here for.
Indeed. I guess runners, any final thoughts? Wishes for your next seed?
Yeah, how about a jet seed for the next one instead of something totally open?
Amen to that. Oh man.
Yeah, this one was pretty late, and I'm guessing. Well, I know that you were both hoping for a really fast seed, but at least it was a sub 2, right? Not too bad.
Yeah, and actually, all in, did you pet the cat? I don't think you
I
did.
did pet the cat.
You
I
did?
didn't
Okay.
sleep in the bed, but I went in just to pet the cat. So hopefully that
You-
was well
All
worth
right.
it.
Okay, so both roads are validated.
Yeah,
The
I think so
Cadillac-
far. Yep, I think so far we've only had one race where the winner didn't pet the cat. So we've been seeing a lot of cat petting, obviously. Anyway, with that, I guess we can finish up for the night. And GG to both of you. We'll see you on Sunday. And thanks everyone for coming.